Now 7 p.m. on this Monday, October 10th, 2016. Calling to order to hear public comments on an ordinance of the City of Buchanan, Michigan, adopting an amendment to the City of Buchanan, Michigan Code of Ordinances to amend Chapter 12, Animals and Fowl, Section 12.1, Definitions, to create Section 12.5, Keeping Domestic Chickens, and to provide for an effective date of this ordinance. Is there anyone here to speak on this?
Your Honor, we did receive comments from a resident on Front Street, Adam Perrin, saying that he's very interested in having some backyard chickens, and that he asked for favorable recommendation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone? Yes.
Your Honor, I think we also received an email from another resident.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one it is?
That was
okay.
Adam.
Very
Sent
good.
it by email.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments from the commissioners?
I see no problem with it. I think it's okay.
All right. All right. Well, I will adjourn this open hearing at 7:01. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, we will now start our regular commission meeting on this Monday, October 10th, 2016. If everyone will please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've got to turn my phone off. Hold on. Okay. Reverend?
All right, let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity tonight to have our city commissioners come together with our city manager and others that will be in the observance mode. I pray your wisdom and guidance to be upon each one that's making decisions for our city. Give them the guidance that they need and the insights that are necessary. Just be with them and bless them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, we have something special tonight. Who's speaking? Okay. Yes, if you would, please.
Good evening. I'm Lloyd Miller, for those of you who don't know me, and I've been involved in trail for the past 13 years. During that period of time, I've had the honor and opportunity to work with one Mr. Richard Proud, and I'd like to just say a couple words in that regard. Quite simply, McCoy's Creek Trail would not exist if it weren't for Dick. Every good idea, he's a impassioned leader, and Dick has certainly played that role. In the beginning, the trail was little more than a pathway into E.B. Clark Woods. It now encompasses two legs, east and west. The east leg runs from E.B. Clark Woods entrance to the farmer's market, which is approximately a 2-mile round trip. The west leg runs from the tin shop out to Presty Tower and back, which is another 3-mile round trip. So our trail is now approximately 5 miles in length. If you were to enter at E.B. Clark Woods and go out to Presty Tower and end up back where you left your vehicle, you would have walked 5 miles at that point. I think Dick has survived 4 city managers and countless city commissioners, somehow convincing each one that the trail is an important resource and asset to the community. Dick has donated countless hours to the trail, doing all the little things that have to happen behind the scenes in order to keep a project moving forward. His leadership will be missed. The city's tagline, Buchanan, life is better here, I would add, because of Dick Proud. I'd like to add my personal thanks to Dick for his resolve and leadership with the McCoy Street Trail. Dick?
All right.
If you would step forward, you're not going to be given the opportunity to speak because we know how you can say it.
Oh.
Into a 30-minute deal. Bill, you have something that... Congratulations, and thank you for all you've done. And Mayor has a presentation for you.
Thank you for all that you've done. We appreciate everything. You've done a fantastic job here. And we would like to present to you in grateful appreciation for your leadership and accomplishments as the president of Friends of McCoy Creek Trail 2004-2016. What a great citizen and volunteer for our city. We really appreciate everything.
Thank our trail board members that came in support. Teresa Green, Jerry Flenner, Jan Jacobs, Don Brooks, sticking ahead of everybody, Don, George Burgoyne, Rick A. McCarty, and especially my wife, May, for all her support over the, I guess we've been at this about 16 years, maybe, something like that. 13 officially as a McCoy Creek Trail organization. I want to thank you. Been some great people to work with, going back to Mike Hughes, city manager, Bill, just an outstanding man to work with. Just made a lot of things possible. The city commission has been very supportive, and you've let us do a lot of things on your property. And we appreciate it. I get much too much credit, but I'm happy to have done it. It was a love, and I still love it. And I come back and enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As long as I have a fork, I give the city commission a short update or a brief update on what we've accomplished.
Sure.
A lot of times we get so involved in our trail committee meetings that we're always looking forward, and we seldom stop to look over our shoulder to see if we've accomplished anything. And I thought this might be a good opportunity to do just that, to pause and look back and see what we've accomplished in the last year. Baton Mill. Next to Baton Mill, there was a hazard, a roof that was in danger of falling in. And in the last year, we figured out somehow to take a roof that was falling in to turn it into a concrete slab and mount a picnic table on it. So we now have a picnic area above Baton Mill. The guardhouse. We're all but finished with the project, but Jan keeps finding things that we need to tweak a little bit, and we're trying to find some tiles to fix the roof, but we're calling the guardhouse done at this point in time. The guardhouse renovation was made possible in a large part by an $8,000 grant from Michigan Gateway. So when you run into those people, say thank you. The Fit Trail. We've installed 19 exercise stations with one to go. It's a great addition and enhancement to the trail. Again, this was made possible by a $5,000 grant from Gateway and $8,000 of our own monies in our own treasury. Special thank you should be shouted out to McCarty Well Drilling. We quite literally could not have accomplished this without Mike's help and expertise. Seems simple. All you got to do is drill a couple holes, put a couple of posts in the ground, and throw some concrete around it. And, you know, how difficult can it be? After about 5 false starts and not being able to get more than 3 or 4 inches into the ground, we decided that we needed some heavier equipment and somebody that knew what they were doing. So Mike was Greg was kind enough to step forward and drill some holes so we could put that together. I'd like to also thank the city crews for their help in installation. We could lay it all out, but, sometimes you need young, big guys that can lift and do things. So, and then all the concrete associated with securing those sites was donated by none other than the depots at the Red Bud Hardware. The mural, scheduled for completion before the end of this year. None of us anticipated where Tracy and Peter Lipsey would take this project when we got involved with them, but it's going to be something that I had the opportunity to proofread the writing that's going to go on the wall out there. And I'll tell you, I got a little choked up. It is a phenomenal recap of what Buchanan was and is, starting in the early 1800s right up through the closing of Clark Equipment. And, you stand there and you read it and you think, wow, this is a neat place. Trick or treat. We're on our, Jeff, how many have we done? I think 13. 13 trick. This is the 13th one. Scheduled for October 29th from 12:30 to 2. We expect to have some 25 characters in the woods. If anybody'd like to dress up, maybe dress up and come as a city commissioner. We'll find a place for you to work within the woods to pass out candy. I know Gladys has always been willing to dress up and partake of that fun. We're anticipating somewhere around 1,000 trick-or-treaters, moms and dads, and grandmas and grandpas, based on what we've been seeing our trend line in the last few years. Donations of candy is still very much needed. Feel free to drop some off at City Hall. We'll accumulate all of that on the Friday afternoon before and get it all staged and ready to go. This weekend is our 5K race. It's our only fundraiser that we do for the maintenance of the trail. We have managed to raise $10,000 in the last 3 events. This is the 4th event. We're on a pace to have this being a record-setting event for us in terms of the last 3. This is going to be the largest and best we've done. And the trail app. How hard could it be to put together an app? Well, it's easy until you run into an obstacle. But we got rid of all the obstacles in the last year. The trail app is connected to the city. If you look up the city's website and you look on there, you see a bicycle. If you click on that, it gets you right into our app. And the app itself highlights where you are within the trail and the points of interest along the trail. So if you haven't had the opportunity, check out that app. It's pretty neat. One final note here. In our early organizational meetings, we realized we were going to need to raise some money to pay for various applications of permits or studies along the way. And so somebody came up with the idea, let's sell memberships. Everybody wants to be a member of the McCoy's Creek Trail, especially the Friends of McCoy's Creek Trail. August of this year, in $25 increments. Now, we did encourage people, if you wanted to give $50, that'd be fine. If Wayne Ryder's here, Wayne's a good guy. Every time I send out a notice for dues, he thinks he owes it and sends it in. So, Wayne may be in there for 2 or 3 concurrent memberships. But in August of this year, we exceeded $20,000 in memberships cumulatively from the day that we started. So this community really gets behind us. It really steps up. It's been a fun thing to be involved with. And, we're not planning on quitting anytime soon. So the trail is going to be a continued resource to the community. If you looked at our grants that we received, and if you looked at our gifts in kind, we probably are approaching $750,000 in terms of an asset that we've built to the city. And so, as Dick said, thanks for letting us use your property.
Thank you so much.
I don't know that we made this official, but when Dick retired, I got railroaded into becoming the president. It was one URB, and there was a 7-run vote or something before I could do that. So, only a 10-year term. I hope my Any questions, I'd be more than happy to field them.
Okay, do they have questions for Lloyd? No?
No, thank you.
I guess no questions for you. We just want to thank you for all that you have done and the whole committee.
Yes, thank you.
You guys have done a fantastic job, and Bill and I go to conferences, and we were always being questioned, how do you guys get all these things done that we do? And it's volunteers.
Life is better here.
There you go. Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
Gladys?
You're welcome to stay, or you can exit now.
Thank you so much for coming, and congratulations.
Not too bad, because I'm going to make some comments at the end of the...
Okay, Gladys, can we get roll call?
Cole?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Carney?
Yes.
Bianchi?
Yes.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're at public comments. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any agenda item. Andrea. Come up to the microphone.
Actually, I'm not coming to talk about an agenda item. I'm really coming to offer a thank you to the city. Bill should appreciate this because I've been texting him back and forth all summer. We had a tree come down on the north fence at Ottawa. I said, I don't think there's any damage, but when your guys get around to it, because it came off of the city side, they were busy. I think we finally removed it. Well, lo and behold, I'm like, what's the matter with that fence? A second tree had come down, and now the fence is kind of ruined. So I've been texting Bill, I think we have extra fence posts. If you guys could, fix that. He was busy. And then JT dropped in there and said, yeah, we're a little behind. I don't know if you know this, but we've been helping your guys with the football poles that went up, the scoreboard that went up, the parking lot, and the water main. I'm like, no, I did not know that. So I'm going to quit bugging Bill. JT and Dan are figuring out. They each have fence posts and everything. But I thought, wow, you guys are doing some things behind the scenes, helping us out when we need it. We were crunched for time like you were. We had a lot of projects. We're still finishing up some bond things. We still have a community playground to put in. So I'm just coming up to thank you. I did not know that was happening. We have a good relationship. We hope it keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
I'll quit bugging you, Bill. If you're doing stuff that I don't know, just say, by the way, we're over here helping you with this right now. And that was it. So,
Very good.
all right. Well, thank you for letting us know about that. We appreciate thank yous. It's kind of nice to get that thank you. Okay, anyone else? No? Okay. I'd like to get a motion to accept our agenda for tonight.
I'll make the motion. We approve the consent calendar.
I'll second. Okay. Roll call?
There is a correction that needs to be made on there. Under D, the budget amendment is for the total amount of $103,240, not just the partial $63,000 that was listed on the agenda.
What was that amount again?
$103,240. It was on the sheet that you received in your packet, but only part of it was listed on the agenda. We passed the resolution for the remainder part of that, but we hadn't budgeted, did the amendment. So that's the only change that would be under consent.
Okay.
So we need to make an amended motion.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Commissioner Moore if she wanted to.
I'll make a motion to add that as an amendment to the consent calendar.
And I'll second that too. Okay. Roll call.
Hess?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Carney?
Yes.
Bianchi?
Yes.
Kohler?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And then I'll make that motion be to approve the amended consent calendar.
Can we not have
I was just going to make a suggestion if Dan could move the mic. And we have the new equipment tonight that we're working with, and it's pretty sensitive, so you do have to speak into the mic to get heard.
Okay.
I don't want him to hear me.
gotta have a test.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, Melissa, do you have a second on that?
Yes, I will second that, yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Carney?
Yes.
Bianski?
Yes.
Cole?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Heck?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we're at reports by departments, committees, and boards. Lloyd Miller already did his thing, so let's go to Gladys.
Thank you, Your Honor. The November election is getting here very soon. If anybody needs absentee ballots, they can pick those up until November 5th. That's on a Saturday by 2 p.m. And they will count then for Election Day. We expect a larger turnout for November. August was a little over 11%, better than some, but still not good. So I'm sure November is going to be very, very busy. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're looking at new equipment already for next year. Probably won't next year will be a school election and any other special elections that there may be. So I don't know if we'll have the equipment in time for that. The state just released the bid specs for that new equipment. The website is all up to date. We've been receiving feedback from the public and residents in town. It goes to whichever department it is if there's a problem. It's on file, anything that comes through for anybody that wants to review that. On boards and committees, we've got 3 vacancies on the Common Committee, 1 on the Fine Arts. So most of the other committees are full and doing a fantastic job. So Channel 17, we did the upgrade with that. Cody Floor is programming and videoing the meetings. We met with Comcast along with Michael Reed, who was the vendor that upgraded the equipment, and they did not have any modulators. However, they're going to order them, and it'll be paid for through government affairs. So we shouldn't see a bill on that, but that would be over and above what we spent here. When it's all over, I'll give you a report of the entire breakdown. We moved into this building into the 70s, and that's when the audio was put in by Electro Voice. The audio was not upgraded. They worked on it some this evening, Michael and Cody. And so if you speak into the microphone, the voice will be a little better. And they are going to work with Bill and try to get an audio fixed here in the near future. So other than that, if you have any questions.
Okay. Anybody got questions for Gladys?
I don't.
Okay, I don't know who went first. Okay, Commissioner Moore.
I just have a question about the absentee ballots. Do you need any particular reason to obtain an absentee ballot, or can you?
No, we do have. You do have to have a specific reason set by the state. 60 years of age or older. If you're going to be out of the precinct or out of the city on election day. If you're confined to a hospital. If you're working in a precinct other than your own. And I think if you're confined or awaiting judgment to go to jail, you can still vote.
Fortunately, those last ones don't apply to me, so that's good.
Does that include the service men and ladies that are? Did they get up?
Yes, they get get emailed a ballot, actually. It's all done electronically.
Okay. All right. Okay, Commissioner?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I voted absentee several times. We just check. The money that we're going to have to spend, Comcast, are we going to be able to twist our arm and not make the taxpayers pay for the upgrades?
They're going to supply, yes, they're going to supply the 2 modulators that we need.
So the government affairs is theirs. So they are government affairs?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. It's their government affairs department. Okay. Cool. So they're the ones going to supply the equipment for us. Good. Because we've been a franchise for 40 years now? Yeah, it's 45 years.
At least.
Quite I remember when the wires first went in. That had to have been 73, 74. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
And then are we going to move on with our putting it on YouTube initiative too?
We are doing some phases or steps.
Okay.
Yeah, we again they were tuning up the equipment as of an hour ago, so we've gotten that in. And I will comment on the audio section. I received a quote today that it's going to be $850 to upgrade the audio. And that's within my purchase capabilities, so I've told them to move forward and get that done as quickly as possible so we could have that available for the next meeting, and then we'll be in the 21st century. So it again, it's going to offer us a lot of capabilities, I think. I think Commissioner Moore had a couple of good ideas that we'll be researching. Being able to use that broadcast channel a lot more efficiently than what we have been. So.
Okay. Anybody else? No?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Gladys. Appreciate it. Okay. Next item, unfinished business. Consider ordinance 2016.10, amendment to City of Buchanan, Michigan Code of Ordinances to amend Chapter 12, Animals and Fowl, Section 12.1, Definitions, to create Section 12.5, Keeping of Domestic Chickens, and to provide for an effective date of this ordinance.
Commissioners, Mayor and Commissioners, Deb Fatzer is here. She's put a lot of effort and work into getting this to where it is presently, and I'd like to have her come up and address the commission on the ordinance.
Mayor and Commissioners, sorry, I have a cold, so I'll try and be brief. Basically, we had a short discussion about this previously, but we felt that it was appropriate to take a look at the animals and fowl ordinance as opposed to the zoning ordinance. Because animals and fowl really do deal with the keeping of animals as opposed to zoning, which is the use of the property. So we've had it out there. We did have one comment, from Adam Perrin. I have talked with our resident who is here tonight, who I know is anxious to see us proceed. And, we feel that it's a good ordinance. We do have, if this is approved, we have a permit form that we're borrowing from one of our neighbors, if you will, that we can tweak to our ordinance, so we'll be able to get that going, and then we should be able to, as soon as the ordinance is effective, allow domestic chickens, in the state.
Okay. I know you were asking for an effective date. Can that be immediately, or do we have to have another date?
Excuse me. If it's approved this evening, it'll be published on the 13th.
Okay.
So it could have an effective date as soon as the 13th.
Okay.
If it's approved.
So it'll be published on the 13th, and then it can go into effect at that point.
That would be
Do we need to put that date in our motion? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Any discussion?
No, I think
Take it straight.
we've been doing this thing for the last couple of months. The lady's been patient enough.
Thank you.
I think we should just get this through.
I totally agree. Do I have a motion?
Do you want to?
Okay, go ahead, Pat.
Okay. I'll make the motion that we approve ordinance 2016.10, whatever, amendment to the City of Buchanan, Michigan Code of Ordinances to amend Chapter 12, Animals and Fowls, Section 12-1, definitions to create Section 12.5, keeping of domestic chickens, and to provide the effective date on publication, consistent with publication.
Okay, do I have support?
I'll give support.
Okay, roll call, please. Bianchi?
Yes.
McCullough?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Carney?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Ordinance 402.
Thank you for your patience and
Thank
going
you.
to the many meetings, planning commission several times and the commission several times. So I hope it works out, and I hope you do extremely well and better.
We would like to have you come back in a meeting and show us pictures of your chickens.
Bring us an
Yes,
egg.
we would love that.
Keep the
All right.
You don't live too far from me, so I'm going to come over and see your chickens. So, good luck on it, and I hope it all works out really well for you. So, do you know when you're going to get your chicken coop? Oh. Okay.
That's wonderful.
That's just wonderful. Yep. Very good. All right, young lady. As the others said, thank you for all your patience. This took us a while, but we had to jump through all those loops, so we appreciate it. Okay, next on our agenda is new business. Consider amended Michigan Mutual Aid Box Alarm System Association Agreement between participating political subdivisions as signatories to this interoperable agreement. Is that you, Bill? Deborah?
Actually, Mike Adams is here to explain the Mavis system to you and kind of highlight what's in the agreement.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm asking for money. At least not directly.
Oh, thank you.
I'm asking for money. So, before we get, I have the whole agreement, and I know it was in your packet, and there's a lot of stuff in there. But the basics of the agreement is about pay, what it boils down to, because Mutual Aid Box Alarm System is about helping our partners. And this is designed for a large-scale incident away from here. When we get called to go somewhere else and help them, and usually when that happens, if it happens, we're talking days, not hours. Typically, we go on a mutual aid call with our partners here close to us. We go and help them with a structure fire, and we're talking 4 to 6 hours, or something, and then we're usually back home. This could be, we're talking 4 to 6 days or that type of thing. But before I get there, I want to kind of make sure you understand what the whole box alarm kind of what it does. The history of it, if you know the history, it really started in Illinois, and it originated from the streets of like the big cities like Chicago and New York, where they had the curb box. You could pull it, and it actually called the fire department to that location. Mm-hmm. That was the very beginnings, and then some of the Illinois chiefs really took that and moved it to what we have today. And what I did is I brought all of our documents, but I brought our box cars, the ones that we created. We just redid ours in 2015, and you'll notice ours are color coded for a couple of reasons. One, we like to be different, and two, if we color code things, it's really hard to screw it up because we're firefighters. We know how to put the wet stuff on the red stuff, but we don't know a lot of the other things. So, but what it is the ideal of a box alarm system is everything's written down for you already. So when we have a structure fire or an apartment fire, something like that, and we need help, all we have to do is call out what we want. And what it is, and then the dispatch center already has a copy of this, and they send us what's already written down. So I don't have to sit there, or whoever's in charge doesn't have to sit there and say, send me Bertrand, send me Buchanan Township, send me all these people. It's already written down. So for this one, the yellow one is our residential alarm. So a still alarm is us. We go out, we get a call, it's just us. If we move to a box, so usually what I do is if we have a report of fire and it's confirmed fire, I box it out, whether I'm on scene or not. And a box gives us our two partners, Buchanan Township and Bertrand Township. That's a box. That gives us it gives us our immediate help. If I get on scene and it's a larger scale, then I can move it up to a second alarm, and then that brings us to Niles Township, Berrien Springs, and Niles City, and we call them up to help us. And it just kind of moves from that as you go. You get the larger scale incident, the more help you're going to get. And what Berrien County here in Mavis, at least we're 3501. That's the number for us. And what we did is we made one for residential. We made one for our downtown area, because not every fire is obviously the same. A structure fire in a house with not much around it is not going to be the same. I'm not going to need the same resources as I would for a fire downtown. So we have a downtown one. We have one for high occupancy, like the apartment buildings or the Alzheimer's Center, those type of places. We have one for commercial, for our commercial areas, because that usually calls for a different thing. And then we have a couple that we made up for train derailment. Obviously, we got some good praises from the county because we're the first ones that came up with a box card for train derailment. Obviously, everybody knows that Amtrak goes through here at about 100 miles an hour, or it seems like they're going 100 miles an hour. If we had a derailment, that would require a lot of resources. So we came up with that, and we have one for Conrail, and we have one for Amtrak. But the whole idea is to have your resources already written down. So when you call it out, you don't have to think about it because you have a lot of other things to think about, obviously. So you get all those resources, and the ideal is you think of it in a circle. You try to start off small and work your way out, but you don't take all the resources from every area. You kind of try to skip and bounce around and work your way out like that. So what the agreement is for this is what we have here in our communities or our close communities, only on a larger scale. So if Flint has a major flood or an issue, of course Flint has issues anyway, but I mean, if they have a real issue and they need help, they might call out a strike team or a task force, which is what the box card that's in your packet, it looks like this. Mm-hmm. The strike team, if we get called out, this is all coming from our Berrien County, would come 5 engines. You notice there's 5 engines if you look down it. And then there's a bunch of, for different departments, for just 2 firefighters. Because each one of those engines would send 2 firefighters, and then other departments would send 2 fire departments to help. What it boils down to is a department would send a truck, an engine, with 2 people, and then when we meet up at the designated point of wherever, you meet your staging area, and then you go from there, you get 2 more people from a different department on your truck. So you have 4 firefighters on each truck, but they may not all be from the same department. That way we're not depleting our resources here. And then they go on and go to wherever and however long they're gone. The task force is kind of the same thing, only they send, instead of a strike team is all the same type of equipment, and a task force is same style, all firefighting equipment, but there might be a ladder and engines, a rescue rig, all that. There's 5 of those vehicles, but the same thing. You'd have 2 people from each department. So right now our requirement is if we get called for a strike team, we send one of our engines and 2 people. If we get called for a task force, we just send 2 people. They get on a different rig, and they go with whoever they're going with. If we got called up in reserve, if say the engine and the strike team went and they needed more help, then they call up a reserve engine, and that's what the next line is. And if they need more command, is the Buchanan chief. They want more command. So that if it worked up, that's how it kind of works. But like I say, it's about pulling resources and helping. Now, the same thing, we get the same thing back if we have a large-scale incident. Everybody that's part of 3501 or even, the Indiana, the 201, they would send help here. So they would reciprocate, and when we get that help, basically we don't have to pay for it. what we have to pay for is our people and the responsibility of our people, at least for the first, I don't remember how many hours, but for the hours or days in the beginning. And then once, if it's a large enough incident, then usually the state or the government steps in and it's all that falls under their jurisdiction then. But at least for the onset of it and the beginning of it, the agreement's about understanding that if we send people away, we got to make sure they're going to be covered under insurance. They're going to, have our pay, that kind of stuff. But that's what it boils down to.
Okay. Does anyone have questions?
No, I think Mike, as usual, is, at least for me, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Okay, go ahead.
I think you've pretty well explained what that's about. I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
Okay, Commissioner Moore?
So, if there was say a petroleum spill on the roadway or something like that where you needed maybe hazmat kind of materials, is that delineated in these boxes, like specialized equipment that you might need? Or if there was anthrax or something, like that, you have different types of responses?
Correct. Now, that's the way they work. They work across like this to the higher box. But over here it says special equipment. And that's where we would bring, like for this one, this is the train derailment, Truce towing, Barron County hazmat, the emergency management, those type of things. The CERT, which is the Certified Emergency Responder, for certified citizens. So, yeah, that's what this line over here is for, is if you thinking outside the box before it happens. So if you do need that additional help, all it's right that you just say, send me my special equipment, and then they'll send whatever is written down there.
Okay.
Or they'll try to anyway.
Commissioner Legansky?
Don't we really just basically have this? We're already, I don't understand why it is we're putting another layer on it.
It was actually in 2010 when we joined 3501. I wasn't chief then. Tim Gallen was chief, and I don't know if any of you guys were commissioners back then or not, but it was approved back then, but it's changed. The agreement has changed over the years, like a lot of things do. They evolve, and that's what I don't think it was well defined originally on jurisdictions knowing if, who covered what. So I think that's why we're at this point now, because most jurisdictions wanted to know, if I send people away for 3 days or 5 days, who's paying for it? Is why I think that's why we're at this point now.
Yeah, that's the essence of the agreement. Is if we have to go to Kalamazoo because of an event, and I believe in the agreement, I remember 8 hours as being our responsibility. So we're going to go help our neighbors in Kalamazoo, and we're paying the bill for that first 8 hours. Now that is if it is deemed an emergency by the state EOC, and we are actually requested to come help. We get the first 8 hours bill. The event picks up the remainder of the event. So we would be compensated and reimbursed for our expenses past that first 8 hours to go help on a kind of statewide emergency. In turn, reciprocation, if we had an event at one of a location within the city, we would get that same support. And we do have a couple of assets within the city that could cause us to reach out and need some greatly expanded support by other communities to come in to help us, because our resources, even our general immediate area resources, could be overwhelmed pretty quickly.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a fire. If a tornado hit Buchanan, that would definitely, be in the declare an emergency scenario, and that would, those type. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fire causing it. It could be, obviously it could be a hazmat incident. It could be, any type of natural disaster or man-made disaster, those type of things. WMD, anything like that would classify that,
Commissioner?
The reason why I'm questioning it some more is because another establishment of another board. So, how many man hours, paid man hours,
are going to go into doing what we're already doing. That's basically, I mean, we're really, for all intents and purposes, we're not going to say no to anybody, and nobody's going to say no to us. Well, regardless, then they'll fight about the bill after the fact. And that's basically what it's going to be anyhow, with or without this contract.
Well, as far as man hours for us, it really makes, the only difference in what we're doing right now is if it's approved, then the copy of it has to be in the city, certified copy, and then one goes to the state. It's really, that goes to the state and then to the Maples 3501 office, and that's pretty much it. There's really not anything, no man hours on our end of it other than what we're doing right now.
So nothing more for this executive board for this specific contract?
Not for us that I know of. This is just related so every jurisdiction understands where they stand in the program, I guess is the best way to say it.
It'll put Buchanan on the resource list for an emergency, and I would suspect that it's going to be somewhere in this southwest corner of the state that we would respond with our resources to help our neighbors in this corner of the state.
Okay. Yes. What I thought was an important section was Section 8. It outlines exactly who has to pay for what and when, and it lays out, like, what's the liability, what's the insurance, what's your compensation for aid. I think this is a really good document that would protect the people that we send and make it a little less ambiguous, and there's not so much fighting at the end. Well, we came and helped you, just kind of spells it all out there.
And then that's what it is like I said, the document 6 years ago isn't the document that you're looking at now. I mean, it was obviously in its infancy and obviously evolved since then.
They learned through some lessons how to clarify things better, and that's the product. They actually have a better product, better agreement to approve now than we did originally.
Okay. Any further questions? Do I have a motion for him to get this agreement?
I'll make a motion. We approve the amended Michigan Mutual Aid Box Alarm System Association agreement.
Okay. Do I have support?
I'll give support.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Bianski?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Carney?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you very much. There you
All
go,
right,
young
thank
man.
you again.
All right.
Thanks, Mike, again for your detailed information.
All right. It certainly does spell everything out, and it's black and white, and it just makes it all around better. Okay, we are at public comments. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any non-agenda item. Anyone? Norma.
Because of weather this year, leaves have not dropped. We only have until the 17th to use the brown bags. Can that be extended?
Yes, I don't. There's not really an issue if the bags are out the front. We're going to be picking them up. Again, we have to adjust to Mother Nature, and right now she's hanging on to those leaves.
Yes, she is.
We're going to be, and unfortunately, I believe that we will be really battling leaves and snow at the same time, which is always a mess in the city. So, yeah, we'll try to put something up on Facebook. Yeah, I know, but we'll get it noticed.
We don't have the paper anymore.
Well, Channel 17. We have postings that we'll put up downtown and at City Hall. So, that's what we're going to do.
And you can help by telling people too, Norma, when you see them, and let them.
Have them call City Hall.
Who's going to answer it?
They answer it, believe me. I call them.
What number? 17, 11? What number?
Hold on.
I'm not sure what you're...
She's talking about the extensions.
10. Extension 10.
Will you answer the phone?
Somebody will answer the phone, or you'll leave a message, and when they get to the messages, they'll get your phone number and call you back.
which I do not have, nor many of the seniors, or trot downtown or trot down here, that's not accessible for people.
Do you have a solution?
You're telling me television, for me to understand.
I'm asking you if you have a solution to what you're trying to ask me. I don't know to what extent you expect us to notify everybody who doesn't have Facebook, doesn't have, the ability to get downtown to see the postings. What would you want us to do?
For me, the best is television.
Okay. Yep, we can put it up on Channel 17.
Yes, where you have your lease bag pickup. It's extended to cover these dates.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I thought we included that in the forum to distribute the information, but good, we will.
Because I looked today and it's not on there. That it's going to be
You just asked us the question. Okay, we're going to consider and we'll extend the leaf bag. Prior to that, it wasn't really a consideration, but we can adjust.
We always figure out what's going on due to the weather, and we just go from there. We can't always know several weeks ahead, so we just kind of flow with whatever's going on. Okay, anybody else? No one? Okay. City manager's comments.
Mayor, Commissioners, a couple of quick items. Do a little plug for Pizza Hut tomorrow night. The fire department, police department will be up at Pizza Hut, and they'll be serving the public. It's a little bit of a fundraiser for the fire department. Mike, you want to add anything more?
Actually, the money, because every year we pick the money to go to some type of one of the something in Buchanan, and the money every year goes to something. And this year, the money's going to go to some of the. It's going to be distributed evenly, whatever we get to a lot of the school teachers. And the reason that is to the individual teachers, not to the school. Last year, when we supported the second grade splash day, it was noted that the teacher pretty much purchased all that equipment out of his own pocket. So that kind of touched us. I guess is the way to say it. And so this year, the money's going to go. They have a little general fund that they can send the money to, and they can share because they currently buy a lot of their own. Some of their own supplies, their classrooms, and extracurricular activities, like say it. So the money this year is going to go to that.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Mike, what are the hours for this?
It's 5 to 8. There's going to be several outside events, and then all of the inside will be the firefighters will be doing the serving. It'll be pizza buffet style, or not buffet style, but pizza obviously, and then they have the salad buffet. But it's from 5 to 8. Then like I said, there'll be several fire prevention, public education things going on in the police. Usually backup is there, and obviously our partners with Bertrand and Buchanan Township are there also.
Myself, I can't make it, but if I want to make a donation, can I stop at the fire department, say later in the week, and give it to somebody or not?
Yes, you sure can.
And how do I make it out?
Actually, I don't know exactly the name of the fund, but I can have Blaylock and I can get it to you. He's the one that's running that.
Okay. You can email it. My email is on the city site, or you can contact Gladys, and she can email me, and then I can stop. I can just stop at the fire department, right?
Well, we're not always there.
I know. Or give it to Gladys, maybe?
Either way, you can get a hold of me and let me know for sure.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Also, October 14th, this week will be the homecoming parade. So be aware of that. We've discussed that with the school and the fact that we have a four-way stop downtown. We have added a few extra officers to assist with that down there on that night. So I think fire department's participating in that as well. Very good. Update on the repaving. We are we are progressing. As you can see, some of the intersections have been shown results of some construction. They're pouring curbs. They're going to be pouring sidewalks today. We had a tree that was not a healthy one, thank goodness, but we had a tree in the way. We had to take it down today to get it out of the way, so the sidewalk could be the new sidewalk could be put in and make it ADA compliant. The tree was going to prevent that from happening, so we had to take down the tree today. The stump will get removed, and so they'll be able to move forward with that. The progress is on schedule and on target. The new poles should be here very quickly to get up on at the intersection, so we should see a new traffic light here within the next 7 days, from what I've been told, so that'll be good. That'll take some programming to get it up and running. So very good. That's about all I have.
Okay. While you're talking about the corners, I'm wondering, like at Red Bud in front, with the cement truck pouring cement, depending on where you're sitting to go through the intersection, you can't see around those trucks. Yeah. Is there a way we can have somebody out there?
The responsibility of traffic control and actually rerouting falls on the contractor. They're responsible. Now, they can easily reach out to us, but and we'll talk to them because we have a construction meeting set up here to sit down with them just to get updates and reviews. But we'll mention that to them that they need to do a better job of some site flag people to get people around that truck. And I know what you're talking about there. Sometimes they get in haste, and they really don't pay attention to those details, and we'll bring that up at the meeting.
Okay, because I know I went through there today. Everybody was doing something. I mean, they were all busy. Yeah. They weren't standing around, but I just felt like, it could become an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's start with Stan.
I wanted to ask Bill some questions, but the pickup trucks, how many do we have that don't have our name on it yet? Do you know?
Actually, there are. I know the new trucks don't have placards yet, and I think 2 other trucks do not. So we have 4 total pickups that.
So we have appointments with Pam to get them on there. I know she's pretty busy, but we have set it up.
Yeah, I've spoken to JT, actually a couple of staff meetings about getting those signed. And again, and I'm not making excuses, but I know he and the crews are still hammered. So those are one of the things he has to get to yet. And we got staff meeting tomorrow morning. That'll be a topic of conversation.
And then 11 acres that we got listed, where exactly is that?
11 acres.
Forest Creek Industrial Park.
11 acres we have listed.
For sale for $99,000.
Nah, you're catching me off guard. I'm not sure.
I didn't mean to do that. Honestly, I didn't. It's on our webpage. It's on the very last. It's listed under industrial sites.
Oh, is that still remnants on there from the brownfield? The brownfield right behind us was the 11 acres. If that's
Forest Creek Park, Industrial Park.
Yes, that would be that.
So it was gone. The reason why I asked is it was gone, and then it suddenly come up again. Because I check it periodically.
And we'll have to.
And I meant to call Bill a couple of times, and I didn't mean to do that. It's just I was trying to figure out where it was, and I didn't know. And
okay.
It's not a big deal, but it's listed under industrial parks. because
Unless it's Electro Voice, but
Electro Voice was listed separate, and it's no longer listed.
We'll have to do some research.
I mean, it might have been one of them glitches that popped up all of a sudden too. I mean,
because
computers have an own mind, their mind of their own.
That was an 11-acre site behind us that we sold. So that I'm believing that's probably one and the same. And if it hasn't, it needs to be taken off.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, unless that was questions. Now I got something I do want to say.
Make your comment.
The college is asking for more tax money. I know you all went out to the Hanson building. I'm not very happy that they're asking for more tax money when they didn't need to build that building, and they could have put that money that they built that building with towards all the things that they're listing in here. And other than, the trick and treat. You know, it's the trick and treat. I mean, that didn't come up when we voted to put trick or treat on Mondays. That was part of is that part of the parade, or I mean?
Yeah, that is the Saturday event.
Yeah.
And those were, I mean, that's almost traditional. They're on that Saturday, and we start off with a parade. And the parade goes, I think this year is the Legion?
I believe so. It's the Legion.
And the Legion has the parade ending up there with, then they serve them lunch. They have a costume contest, some other activities, and then they're usually out by noon, and then track and treat starts about 12:30.
12:30 to I think.
Yeah, it says 1:30 on here till 2:00.
I think it's. No,
I mean, it's just listed on here.
Okay.
So it's only 30 minutes, but it's probably 12:30.
And
right, it's more than that.
Yeah, it takes them longer though.
Yeah, it's longer.
But, I mean, that just gives us a little more ammunition so that next year we can maybe put this to rest and say, do it all in one day.
I tried to bring that up at the last meeting.
I know.
Yeah. So
and we got that down. I know. I was going that direction. Believe me.
So, yeah, that I mean those events fit and work best on that Saturday.
The only reason why I bring it up, Bill, is this was very close to home. I mean, in other words, my wife. The Legion is advertising it for the 29th of October, and she says, I thought you told me trick or treating was on Halloween. I said,
Trick or treat is.
Trick or treat is.
But that's way too close. That's why I had to bring it up publicly. Thank you.
They're two different events.
I do agree with you, Dan.
We'll have to write it down, mark it down, make an asterisk, put a funny face or a happy face right there.
Okay, Commissioner.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a comment about the father of the trail, Dick Proud. I'd like to bring up the congratulations on his vision and also on his dreams of making the trail what it is today. But I would also like to thank Jack McCullen, not once but twice, because he is on the trail board too, and he remembers the mother of the trail, Sheila Daly. So I would like to make a few comments about what Sheila Daly has done for the trail for many years, starting off with when we had all those creek cleanups, and she was in charge and getting everybody organized and making sure that they were at the proper locations. Moving along, the first 5K race, guess who was in charge of that? Sheila Daly, mother of the trail. She organized it, got it all moving along, and as you can see today, what has happened. When she resigned, and she passed all the paperwork over to Teresa Green. And Teresa Green called many times, as Sheila is. She did an excellent job of organization and telling her how to make it a good trail. Trick or treat. The mother of the trail has been there every year, rain or shine, cold or hot. One of her other big events for the trail, Bait and Mill. Let me remind you one thing. When the trail was first put together, she was the first and only woman on that committee out of everybody. And she had to fight her way to let them know what she thinks that has to be, what would be good for the trail. Now, Baton Mill, she was put in charge of getting everything together so that we'd get the trees properly cut, the correct flowers to go in there. And one of the big problems that would seem to be arising, and she found or received big headway, as Bill Marks knows, was the building that she had told the trail committee many times that has to come down. It's a problem. But she continued to fight. Then she continued to let them know. Eventually, thanks to Bill and Teresa Green, that situation was taken care of. The other issue about Baton Mill is they believe, I might be quoted wrong, but it was quite a number of money that was involved with Baton Mill. And the one thing that they seemed to forget was maintenance, which she brought up several times at trail meetings. Over the course of the time, especially when that was first put in, we spent many hours, many days at Baton Mill to preserve so that we wouldn't lose all that. Thanks to the city, as Bill knows, we have actually saved Baton Mill and have saved a lot of grief and money. One of the other things was the fern. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The fern over there on the other side.
The fern?
You know, there was an issue that was over there, and Sheila had already talked to the DNA and the politicians about things over there to get it done properly. And fortunately, she had, so that issue was settled pretty quickly. Then we come along to the big issue. How did Phase 2 get done, which is now called the West Side? Well, it got done because she got a $325,000 grant. She never wrote a grant. She had to go to school. Nobody else wanted to take it. She spent many hours, many months, sometimes being left out of the loop. But she proceeded and got it done. With all this now, without that $325,000, Phase 2 wouldn't get done. There are many other issues that she had taken care of and spent a lot of the time and seems to have been forgotten. So that's why I call her the mother of the trail, Sheila Daly. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Hess?
I just wanted to remind everybody that October 22nd, it's a Saturday, is Make a Difference in Buchanan Day. You can check out their Facebook page. There's a contact name and email address there. You can come at 9 o'clock to First United Methodist Church on Oak Street, and you can be assigned to a group, and you just go out and do something volunteer-wise for Buchanan. Last year I had a broken foot, so the only thing I could help with was, taking down people's names and having them fill out waivers. This year I hope to get out into the community and do some things. I know a lot of times they arrange for cleaning at parks. They came down here and cleaned along the fence here at City Hall. There's just a lot of different jobs. If you're not able to work in a physical capacity, like pulling weeds and that sort of thing, they usually do something like make cards for our veterans and our active service members. They had done some blanket making for, I believe those went to RAM. Some people actually went to RAM and did some cleaning. So if you have a little free time, 9 o'clock on Saturday, October 22nd at the First United Methodist Church. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Moore?
Yes. First of all, I want to thank Norma for wearing and styling the new Buchanan Park T-shirts, the Have Fun at Buchanan Park. This is one of the T-shirts that they had at the tie-dye session downtown, and it looks great on you. So it's a fundraiser for the parks. I do want to acknowledge Sheila not only with all her work on the trail, but all of her work in the whole park system, along the trail, Catherine Park. I mean, let's face it, she's really what makes life better here. And Dick has been a great leader, and Sheila's been a great doer. So
that's well put, Commissioner.
So I mean, you don't think she's been forgotten. I do think, you know, I know all the work she's done because I've been there to see it.
You've been there a few times.
I've been there.
I know.
Yeah, I'm the old person now to see that. I do want to say well done to the city on herding like a strange long line of horses through the city on Sunday. It was really exciting to see. I tried to tell everybody, you've got to see the horses go through McDonald's. And it just is such a neat event. It's put on by the Westerners and some of the other people, horse people in the community, but I'm not sure of the numbers they ended up having. It seemed like a big, long line. The people stuck in traffic behind them thought it was a long line, and behind the cars picking up the waste product was a long line. But regardless, it was exciting, and I hope their fundraiser for Feed the Children was really successful. I noticed at the end of the parade, several of the horses were from the Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Posse, so I just say thank you to them for coming to our city and helping such a great group have a successful event. It's just wonderful to see more volunteers and people being helped. I wanted to remind people later this month, the Tin Shop will be putting on a very exciting, intense drama called 12 Angry Jurors. It's based on, there's been a book, there's a famous old movie, and we have many of our local talents that have been in several plays, very experienced local experts at acting will be in this play. So the number to get your tickets is 695-6464, and the show dates are October 28th, 29th, 30th, and November 4th, 5th, and 6th. So if you haven't been to the Tin Shop to see live theater, even if you're familiar with this play or the movie or the book, you're so close. We've got like 70 seats. You're very close to the action. It's exciting. And I've actually been recruited. I'm the sponsor of this play, so I really want people to get every seat filled. And I do want to say that one of the disadvantages of being on such a board is that when they are lacking somebody, they pull from their volunteers. And so now I am going to be playing the part of the guard locking these people in a row. So this is how exciting it gets. So I need to find a police outfit. So I'll talk to you, Bill, later. So please come to see a theater. And in December, there's going to be a whole different kind of offering down at the Tin Shop. They're going to have three or four nights of improv down there. Every night will be different. It'll be exciting. It'll be kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? Very fun, very madcap, and they've got a group of people that are bizarrely creative, and I think you'll enjoy yourself. So look ahead on the posters and on the flyers around town for that, and I think you'll have a really good time. So keep theater alive in Buchanan. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And speaking about the horses, I was in the tail end of that line of cars trying to figure out what's going on up front that I can't move very far. I do want to say that one of our police officers was in that parade. Officer Bree was in the parade with her horse, and she also belongs to the sheriff's posse, which I just found out. So I thought that was kind of exciting that we actually have an officer here in town that is involved in horses, and that she participated in that, so it was kind of neat. As far as Sheila goes, oh my gosh, she has done so much for the city of Buchanan and for the citizens of Buchanan. I've seen her out there with gloves and no gloves and shovels, and she has done a great, fabulous job, and I, for one, appreciate all that she has done for the city of Buchanan. She's another one of those great volunteers that help us out quite often, and a person to go to if you have a question that needs to be answered. So I do thank her for that, yeah. And I have gone to her.
I know, Mayor, that the city appreciates her. It was something that I had to bring up for some other reasons.
I totally understand to a point, so, but I just wanted to know that she is appreciated, and I appreciate what she has done. So, let's see. Good luck on the Pizza Hut. I hope you make lots of money. I think what you're doing is fabulous. The teachers spend so much of their own money to keep their kids happy, to get them entertained, to get them to learn more things during class time. So I think it's fantastic that you're taking that on. I guess that's all I have. We are going to close at, what time is it, 8:17 for a closed session for evaluation of the city manager. Okay, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go to closed session.
I'll support him.
Okay, roll call.
Pat?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Turney?
Yes.
Bianski?
Yep.
Cole?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Okay, we will be back out after our closed session.